Right now, somewhere in your neighborhood, someone over 60 is sitting in a warm room, feeling fine, and they are already in danger. Not outside, not gardening, sitting in a chair in their own home with a fan on. By the end of this video, you will know the 5 mistakes that turn an ordinary hot day into a life-threatening emergency, and 2 of them you are probably making right now without knowing it. This isn't a hypothetical. This summer alone, heat domes have pushed temperatures past 106 degrees Fahrenheit in parts of the US Northeast, broken 120-year-old records in Vancouver, and put 4 Canadian provinces under heat warnings with conditions feeling like the mid-40s Celsius with humidity. Millions of people across the US and Canada are under a heat alert as you're watching this, and the pattern is always the same. The people who end up in the emergency room, or worse, are almost never the ones out running in the sun. They're the ones who thought they were being careful. Here's the number that matters most. In both the United States and Canada, more than 8 out of every 10 people who die from heat are over the age of 60. Not because older adults are careless, because somewhere after 60, your body quietly loses a big part of its ability to cool itself. And almost nobody sits you down to explain that to you. I'm going to fix that today. If this is your first time here, welcome to Forever Young Health. This channel is all about one thing: helping you stay strong, sharp, and independent through every stage of life after 60 Sue. Using real, practical information, not vague advice. If that's the kind of thing you're looking for, stick around, because today's topic could genuinely save a life this summer, maybe even yours. Let's get into it. Your body has a built-in cooling system. When you get too warm, your heart pumps extra blood out to your skin so it can shed heat and you sweat, and as that sweat evaporates, it carries heat away. For most of your life, this works so smoothly you never think about it. Here's what changes with age, on 3 fronts at once. You sweat less and later than you used to, so you lose one of your main tools for dumping heat. Your sense of temperature and thirst both dull, so your body stops sounding the alarm as loudly. An older heart has a harder time pumping that extra blood to the skin, especially if it's already working against high blood pressure or heart disease. None of this means you're frail. It happens to strong, active, healthy people. It's biology, not a character flaw. And there's a second factor that hides in plain sight on every weather forecast: humidity. Sweat only cools you if it can evaporate. When the air is already thick with moisture, sweat just sits on your skin and does almost nothing. That's why forecasters talk about the feels-like temperature, or the humidex in Canada. That number, not the plain air temperature, is the one to actually plan your day around. Check it the night before a hot spell, and if your phone offers local heat alerts, turn them on. One more piece almost nobody mentions: nighttime matters as much as daytime. Public health researchers have found that when overnight lows don't drop below roughly 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, or the high 60s to mid-70s Fahrenheit, your body never gets a real chance to recover before the next hot day starts. Heat stress can build up over several nights in a row, even if you feel okay each individual morning. If your home doesn't cool down at night, that's a warning sign on its own, not just a comfort issue. Keep one question in your head for the rest of this video: is this helping my body get rid of heat, or is it quietly working against a cooling system that's already running on a thinner margin than it used to? Mistake number 1: trusting a fan to keep you safe. A fan feels like the obvious answer. Air moves, your skin feels cooler, you assume you're protected. And in mild heat, you're right, a fan helps sweat evaporate. But there's a temperature where a fan stops helping and starts hurting. The CDC is direct about this. Once the air in a room climbs into the mid to high 90s Fahrenheit, An electric fan will not prevent heat-related illness. Above roughly 95 degrees Fahrenheit, the air is hotter than your skin, so the fan is now blowing hot air across your body, and that can push your core temperature up. Because moving air still feels like a breeze, it fools you. You feel comfortable right up until you're in trouble. That's exactly why people are found in warm rooms with the fan still running. What to do instead? Air conditioning is the single strongest protection you have. Even a few hours a day meaningfully lowers your risk, according to the CDC. Use it, and don't let the electric bill talk you out of it on the worst days. No AC at home. This is the day you go somewhere that has it. A cooling centre, library, mall, or a friend's place. In Canada, dial 211 to find the nearest cooling centre. In the US, check heat.gov or your local public health department site for cooling locations near you. If you're relying on a fan, give it something to work with. Wet your skin first. A damp cloth on the neck, a spray bottle, or a cool shower gives the fan something to evaporate. A plain cool shower or bath is one of the fastest ways to lower your core temperature. Faster than a fan, faster than a cold drink. Mistake number 2, not accounting for your medications. This is the age when most people are on at least one daily prescription, and several of the most common ones interfere directly with your cooling system. Water pills, diuretics, used for blood pressure or swelling, pull fluid out of your body. In a heat wave, when you're also losing fluid through sweat, they can push you toward dehydration faster and blunt your sense of thirst so you don't feel it coming. Beta blockers can reduce how much you sweat and lower your heart's ability to pump extra blood to your skin. 2 cooling tools turn down at once. Anticholinergic medications found in some bladder medications, certain antidepressants, and even some over-the-counter sleep and allergy pills can directly shut down sweating. None of this means these drugs are bad, they're doing an important job. Which brings me to the most important sentence in this video. Never stop or skip a medication because it's hot out. That can be far more dangerous than the heat itself. Instead, before the next hot spell, ask your doctor or pharmacist one question. Which of my medications affect how I handle heat, and is there anything I should adjust on the hottest days? That 5-minute conversation is one of the highest value things you can do this summer. Any dosage or timing decision belongs to your doctor, not to you alone. Quick pause before we get to mistake 3, because this one matters. If this is useful so far, hit like so it reaches more people who need it, subscribe if you're not already, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, US or Canada, and how hot it's been where you are this week. I read every one, and it shapes what I cover next. And one quick but important note, since we're halfway through, everything in this video is for general education. It's not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Your own health history, medications, and conditions are unique, so always check with your doctor or pharmacist about what applies to you specifically. And if you or someone near you ever shows signs of a real medical emergency, don't wait. Call 911. Okay, mistake 3. Waiting until you feel thirsty. For most of your life, thirst was a reliable alarm. But your thirst signal is part of the cooling system that dulls with age. Research consistently shows older adults feel less thirsty than younger people, even when genuinely low on fluid. Add a water pill, add fluid lost through sweat, and you can slide into real dehydration without your body ever raising a hand to warn you. Drink on a schedule, not on thirst. A rough target is a glass of water roughly every hour during a hot day, more if you're active, unless your doctor has told you to limit fluids for heart failure or kidney disease, in which case their guidance wins over this rule. A simple check. Pale, light straw-coloured urine means you're doing fine. Dark and concentrated means you're behind. If you're sweating heavily for hours, plain water isn't quite enough, you're losing salt too. That's the moment for an electrolyte drink, a bit of juice or a salty snack, and a note that trips people up during summer barbecues and long porch afternoons. Alcohol and heavy caffeine both pull fluid out of you. You don't have to give them up, just match each one with an extra glass of water and go easy on genuinely dangerous days. Mistake number 4. Trusting your own body to tell you when your home is dangerous. Because your temperature and thirst signals dull with age, you lose the internal alarm that used to keep you safe. On a slow and hot afternoon, your house heats up degree by degree, gradually enough that you adjust without noticing. You feel a little warm, maybe tired or foggy, and you assume it's just your age. This is why the majority of heat deaths happen indoors, not outdoors, and why so many people who die had a home that was simply too hot, often with an air conditioner, sitting there switched off. There's also a subgroup worth naming directly. People living with dementia or other cognitive impairment may not recognize overheating in themselves at all, and may not be able to tell someone else that something is wrong. If you're a caregiver, this means checking the room temperature yourself rather than relying on how the person says they feel. What to do? Put a cheap thermometer somewhere, you'll see it. When a room you're in is pushing past the mid-80s Fahrenheit and climbing, don't tough it out. Get to cooler air. Close blinds and curtains on the sunny side of the house during the day. Heat rises. An upstairs bedroom can run several degrees hotter than the ground floor. On brutal days, sit and sleep in the lowest, coolest room you have. Save errands, yard work or walks for early morning or evening and stay out of direct sun, roughly between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Set up a daily buddy check, a neighbour, family member or friend who checks on you in person or by phone every day during a heat wave, and do the same for someone else. This one habit closes the gap between felt fine and someone caught it in time. If you have pets, remember the same rules apply to them. Never leave a person or a pet in a parked car, even briefly, and give pets access to cool water and shade too. One more current day factor: heat waves strain power grids, and outages during extreme heat are becoming more common in both countries. If you rely on AC, have a backup plan, a car with working AC, a cooling centre, or a family member's home, in case the power goes out during a heat event. And note that smart thermostats can stop working during an outage even after power returns. So don't assume your home is cooling just because the power is back on. If wildfire smoke and a heat wave hit at the same time, increasingly common across both countries. Prioritize staying cool over closing everything up for air quality. Overheating can be the more immediate danger. Mistake number 5. Not knowing the difference between overheated and a true emergency. This is the one that decides between a scare and a tragedy. Heat exhaustion is your body waving a red flag while it can still be fixed easily. Signs: heavy sweating, cool and clammy skin, muscle cramps, weakness, dizziness, nausea, headache, a fast but weak pulse. If you catch it here, stop everything, get into a cool place or shade, lie down, loosen clothing, sip cool water, and put cool wet cloths on your neck, armpits, and groin, where large blood vessels sit close to the surface. It usually turns around with a little time and cooling. Heat stroke is a true call 911 right now medical emergency. The CDC defines it as a core temperature around 104 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, with the body's cooling completely failed. Watch for confusion, slurred speech, or someone just not acting right. This is the single most important warning sign, and the one families most often brush off as tiredness, skin that's gone hot and dry because sweating has shut down a pounding, rapid pulse, fainting, or loss of consciousness. If you see these signs, call 911 immediately. In Canada, 911 is standard nationwide, with some very remote exceptions where a local emergency number applies. While you wait, get the person into cool air, into a cool shower or bath if possible, or apply ice packs and cold wet cloths to the neck, armpits, and groin. Fast cooling in those first minutes is what protects the brain and can save a life. One important caution: if the person is confused, drowsy, or unconscious, do not try to give them water. They could choke. Keep cooling from the outside and let paramedics handle fluids once they arrive. Putting it all together, what to do today. Don't rely on a fan alone above the mid-90s. Get to air conditioning or wet your skin if a fan is all you have. Know your medications. Ask your doctor or pharmacist how they affect heat tolerance. Never stop one on your own. Drink on a schedule, not on thirst, and check that your urine stays pale. Don't trust the feeling that you're fine. Trust a thermometer and set up a daily check-in with someone during a heat wave. Learn the signs of heat stroke, confusion, hot dry skin, a pounding pulse, and call 911 immediately if you see them. None of these cost much and none are complicated. Any one of them can be the thing that gets you or someone you love safely to the other side of this summer. If this helped you, do one thing that costs nothing. Hit like, subscribe if you haven't, and send this to one person over 60 that you care about. It really can be the difference that matters. Stay cool and look out for the people around you. Reminder: this video is for general education and does not replace medical advice. If you or someone near you shows signs of heat stroke, call 911 right away.